Well, Devika, yes, we need to up the ante so far as the information warfare is concerned. That much I agree, because the information warfare is as important as the kinetic war. But I think I also believe that this is the last time that India would send any delegate abroad to give India's viewpoint. I think after this, nobody will go from India. The reason is this, that who will you try to convince? Are you trying to convince the West, which knows everything? They know everything. It is not that we will say to them anything which they are not aware of. We have to understand this, that if terrorism or the non-state actors, who I call state-sponsored non-state actors, if the non-state actors are an instrument of statecraft for Pakistan, then Pakistan itself is an instrument of statecraft for the West and China. And both of them actually want Pakistan to survive, because they have a game of containing India. They don't want India to get destroyed, but they want India to remain within a threshold so that India doesn't emerge as a challenger. And because India has emerged as a challenger, this is becoming a problem for them. So every time there would be an Osama bin Laden, the West will go and hunt Osama bin Laden, because Osama bin Laden targeted Western assets. But every time they would go and hunt an Osama bin Laden, they would not hunt an Hafiz Saeed or a Masood Azhar or somebody else, because those are meant for India. So we have to understand this clear-cut distinction, that there is nothing called a war and terror. And this is where I think there is a certain amount of frustration and realization within India as well, that the entire the edifice of multilateral institutions that the West has its own dubious purpose as well, to keep the Western edge intact. And that is why, in spite of knowing that Pakistan will never pay back the money, and that this money will never be utilized for the right purpose of eradicating poverty or actually genuinely building infrastructure, IMF will keep on giving them money. And that's the reason a lot of people in social media keep on saying that IMF stands for Islamic Mujahideen Fund. So let me put this: information warfare is primarily that area where we have to improve. I think that is primarily for convincing the general mass across the world, not for convincing the governments of the West. The governments of the West, or their agencies of the establishment, are totally hand in glove with what is happening. Why do you think the Trump administration was desperate, requesting India, please stop your operation? Because they never expected India to cross the threshold and hit so precisely, so decisively, so vindictively, to actually give it the right kind of thrashing to the Pakistanis, that Pakistan, not only Pakistan, the pain was felt by their masters in Western China as well. So they have an agenda to keep Pakistan. It is the West, I believe, which kept on telling Pakistan that, look, India will never cross the threshold. You can keep on dangling the nuclear threat, and you can keep on using the non-state actors with the plausible deniability clause. I mean, you have a Donald Trump coming up and saying that Pakistan is a beautiful people, will do great trade. These are statements coming from the President of the United States. I mean, I don't think Donald Trump is a dumb person. I don't think so. People may think, but I don't think. Donald Trump individually may be a different person, but once he becomes the President of the United States, he is following the establishment norm. The establishment has a purpose. The purpose is simple, that you have to keep Pakistan alive. Otherwise, you cannot today, China is problem for today for United States or the West. India is the problem for tomorrow. So they would keep on, pinching you, creating problem. Why do you think the Bangladesh issue was created? It's because that India has a strategic depth. So whatever Pakistan does, it has its limitation. Even if India gets into a limited conflict with Pakistan, even if India gets into a conflict with Pakistan, most of India will continue very fine, and the economy will run. So that's the reason another problem was created on the Eastern Front.
Yes.
So that from both sides you can create problems. So I don't think India is trying to convince the world. It is just going to tell the world that, look, this is it, we are going to do, that's your choice what you do beyond this. And I think the West, which has an agenda to hunt with the hound and run with the hare, knows that I think this is the tipping point. And I don't know what the West will do beyond this, but they are still okay, even okay if terrorism from Pakistan creates another 9/11 in the United States or elsewhere, God forbid, so long as Pakistan remains there to contain India. That is a very big agenda. So there are a lot of subterfuges in the game happening, and I think there is this realization there is no point. The West knows more than us what Pakistan is, and West is okay with that. We have to understand this. Rest, we know that this is our war, we have to fight.
Okay, Major Gigi Dwivedi, bringing you back, sir, one last question to you. I want to understand from your perspective. We also know that there is enough trouble within Pakistan as far as rebel groups are concerned, as far as the cause for Balochistan, Sindhustan, Pashtunistan. All of these causes have been brewing rather for many years in Pakistan today. What we're learning about this latest LET commander is that he wasn't killed in the Indian strikes in Operation Sindoor or its aftermath. He's been shot dead in Pakistan in the Sindh province. Is that somewhere an indication that perhaps the measures that have been taken by India and the position that has been taken by India could have emboldened some of the other rebel groups within Pakistan to genuinely take on the Pakistani military and their terrorist associates?
Well, Devika, first and foremost, we need to understand that Pakistan is a terrorist state, and it has all variety of terrorists with the different tags and different brand names that are nurtured. So therefore, these non-state actors, the terrorists, have a lot of inter-rivalries because they have their turf to protect, and so to that extent, their rivalries are quite common and quite evident. The point I'm trying to make is that we need to have a very integrated approach to defeat Pakistan proxy war, and in that, it has to be fought at different levels. Internationally, diplomatically, politically, economically, militarily.